Hello viewers, today for the unboxing and initial checkout of, we have the Air Queen 9312 12-inch high velocity multi-mount fan. This will be a two-part video. This will be part one, and in part two we'll go ahead and install it into the hallway where I intend to use it. This is assembled in the US using foreign and domestic parts. I would really be curious to know what parts are actually domestic. I can't imagine many. So this is, as far as I know it, pretty much the same fan as the 12-inch stand, floor, whatever model, except this one has a different mounting to it. And I got this for the hallway because my pellet stove for the heat resides in the living room, and I need to move the heat from the living room through the kitchen and into the bedrooms down the hallway. For the last couple of days I have had the 12-inch model that I already have, the stand one, hanging from some hooks I screwed into the ceiling, and it works pretty well. Last night it got into the low 40s and the bedroom held at I think 67, which is cold but tolerable for while I'm sleeping. So, the fan works, but it kind of like, it shakes and sways and it's ghetto and it's just not great. So, figured I'd buy this. This is expensive, but I think this will probably pay for itself if I can avoid using the oil heat even longer than I did last year. The oil heat is just going up and up and up. I filled up the tank today from about a quarter. Costs almost $700. That's ridiculous. That won't even last, if I have it running, it won't even last 2 months. So I want to avoid using that as much as possible this year. I'd rather buy more pellets, because I've only spent $1,000 on pellets so far, and that amount of pellets will last 4 months or so. So I'll be buying some more pellets and running those. But anyways, this is going to help me move some heat around, and this should be able to be secured to the ceiling a lot better than the fix-up that I have right now, which is kind of pathetic. So here's the fan. Looks like it comes with a safety cable, which I'm not too worried about because I like to live on the edge, and of course it's all inside plastic film. Okay, we have a beat up instruction manual. It's like we pulled this thing out of the trash. This is like the same kind of manual that every Lasco and Air Queen product has now. It doesn't really tell you much. Talk about the security cable there. It's like their printer is busted up. It's got a line through the... they didn't even fold it right. It's not even folded straight. Bad. Very bad. And it's a shame because opening it up gave me a really bad experience here. This does not instill confidence in the product whatsoever. And neither does this. This is all just like shoddy and whatever. Not that this really matters, but This, I guess we just cut it off, or it strips pretty easily. I'm noticing immediately that the guard is much thicker than the guard on my 12-inch floor model, which I think I'm going to go grab. I got it here, so let me finish opening this up here and then we'll show them both. It has pull string control, which is kind of neat. It's mounted up out of reach, and I'm going to make a speculation here. It appears that there is bilingual writing on here, which is Canadian, French. Canadian. It's just like, oh, he speaks American. There's English and French, and the products sold in Canada have always had this thing with the really thick guards. So I wonder if this is like this to meet whatever specifications are set to be sold in Canada. That's my speculation. Or it's some kind of OSHA thing, but I don't think the OSHA requires it to be quite this thick. So anyways, commercial style Thean, which this is kind of funny to me, because it says here, it says warning for commercial or industrial use only. Now, what the heck makes this unable to be used in a household? I have no idea. But then it says warning, this Thean should be used only in a clean, dry environment, which is like a household. And most commercial and industrial environments are not clean, nor dry half the time. So I don't quite understand what that's about. I guess in other words, you can't use it anywhere. I'm using it in my house. This is now a commercial building, and I'm using it in the house. So let's go ahead and get this pull chain thing out of here. If this is going to be installed somewhere that there's equipment underneath it, or somewhere that you spend a lot of time, maybe I'd bother with the security cable, but it's in the hallway. And if this happens to fall on you in the 3 seconds that you stand under it per day, that's just really unfortunate. Nice brass. I don't see that much anymore. I mean, it's obviously not brass, but it's just the color. Seems fine. I can say I don't like this stand. First off, the thing is huge. You got to get a gigantic bolt or a washer and stuff. But if this is anything like a ceiling mount, then this is fine. But if you're going to put this on a wall, the amount of mechanical advantage that this is going to experience is tremendous. You're going to have a serious anchor to secure this. I'm putting it on the ceiling, so it'll be okay. But the stand, you know, it's not a really good design in my opinion. So there's the Thean. We'll go ahead and start it up in a minute. Just for comparative purposes, here's the other one I have, the 4 model, and you can see the difference in the guards is significant. So that'll be interesting to see if the performance is any different. I got a lot of use out of this 12-inch one this summer. I really like this fan. I gotta get it cleaned up, it's getting kind of dusty. Alright, so let's plug this thing in. It's got the infamous fuse plug, of course, like just about everything does now. Which is okay. I would have preferred it to be replaceable, but in these things' defense, I can't say I have found any fans that have a bad fuse, so it doesn't seem, at least to me, like they commonly fail prematurely or inaccurately. And of course, one could also make the argument that if it was replaceable, nobody would ever replace it. Okay, I don't want you on yet. Okay. So it is ball bearing, as you can see here. The spin down is lengthy. Let's see if I can prop this up a little bit here. Do I have something I can prop it up with? Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So let's turn this thing on. See how it runs. We are testing at 119.2 volts. The information on the back says 0.75 amps. So let's see what we got here. I don't know what speed this is going to be on. That seems like high. I'm in standard Air Queen fashion. The blade is totally out of balance, which for a blade this size is pretty pathetic. I'm going to have to balance it before I hang it on the ceiling, so this is actually going to end up being a three-part video. So I'm going to have to balance the blade. Shouldn't have to balance a new product, so that's ridiculous. Airflow, oh boy, the airflow is actually less, I think. Probably because the guard is so thick. Oh no, this one might not even work. The airflow is trash, and it's like, it's all over the place. It's like blowing out to the sides and up and down, all everywhere. I saw somebody type that into the review box, that the airflow is like all over the place, and I thought that was just stupid, but it was right. The airflow is all over the place. I can't use this for what I was going to use it for. No shot. That ain't gonna work. It's good for certain things, but not for this. I want to funnel a stream of air down the hole, and this ain't gonna do it. Let's see what our power information is. That's 0.56 amps, 65 the watt, the power factor 0.98. Daggone table is shaking all over the place. I can feel the floor shaking. This is flipping ridiculous. They're all like this. All these fans is like this. It's unacceptable. And yet, these are probably the best, or at least the second best fans sold today. I think the TPI is better than this. What if TPI makes a seal mount? I'll have to check. Because this ain't gonna work. Alright, I guess that's the medium, which is 0.46 amps, 55 the watts with a power factor of 1. It's fairly quiet. And the balance is more tolerable because it's not going as fast. But yeah, the airflow is pretty weak. It's got to be because of that stupid guard. It feels strong up front, but it doesn't travel. It diminishes in a couple of feet. Now, if you was trying to cool, like, say I wanted to set this up in here to cool while I'm working at the workbench, this would be great, because you can feel the air everywhere. It's just not going to work in my particular case because I wanted a narrow stream of air, and this will not deliver that. Okay, let's try the low. Not much of a difference between the high and the low. Power factor is 1. It's 0.98 now, back to 1. It's a pretty decent motor, I guess. Electrically anyways. Amps is 0.42. 48 the watts. Well, I'm disappointed by two things. I'm disappointed by the balance. I mean, look at this. Look at this trash. You can see it shaking. That's unsatisfactory. The balance is an abomination on this thing. That's disappointing. And disappointment number 2 is that it doesn't move air the way the tabletop or floor model does. This one kind of spreads the air out all over the place, which could be very beneficial depending on the use case. I'm not saying this is a piece of junk fan. It could definitely be useful depending on the situation. My situation is probably more of a rare use case where I want a concentrated stream. Well, that stinks for my use case. I guess the ghetto thing is going back up because it's getting cold. And this ain't gonna work. It's a shame that these blades are not balanced because it's a good fan, it really is. It's well made, it's heavy, it's solid. The ball bearing motor should run for years and years and years. But the balance is simply unacceptable. Well, we'll see. I don't have a use case for this anymore because of the way the performance is. So, not sure what I'm gonna do. If I send it back, I gotta pay like $8 in shipping or something, and I got nothing to show for. Chances are I can hang this up in the garage or here in the studio, and I'll definitely use it at some point. But it's just not gonna work for what I had envisioned. But that's okay. Sometimes that happens. So this will still end up being a 2-part series because we're gonna have part 2 where we balance it. But we're not gonna have part 2. Wait a minute. Are these stands interchangeable? Not, I riveted. Dang. I thought I could. Well, actually, no, I could. I could unscrew this. Maybe. Maybe I'll change the stands. It's a possibility. Definitely part 2 of balancing the blade. I'm not sure if we're going to have part 3 hanging in a hallway changing the stands. It sounds like a lot of trouble. So, oh well. Disappointed. It's a decent fan. If you fix the balance, it's probably one of the best ones you can buy today. But the air distributes all over the place, which is great for a lot of situations, but not for mine.